All right, I don't know if any of you have popped over here. Let me see if I can refresh this. See what's going on here. See if anybody wanted to talk about any of this. Because I got a lot of theories. I can talk a lot about it. And I'd like to hear yours, too. So let's get in here and get to where we are going. One moment. Find the channel. My stupid computer wanting to not cooperate, it seems. Give me a moment. Give you guys a chance to log in here. While my computer is acting stupid. There we go. Let's pop this open. See if we have anybody that's wanting to watch this. So far, nobody. All right, so I'll go ahead and just talk about my opinions on Marvel Avengers Endgame. And essentially, my opinion is that they are sending the rescue team up to get him, Tony, because when he just before he loses connection, he's talking to Pepper, and Friday says to him that she's initializing or initiating or starting up or beginning or something. She's starting to do something, and I think what it is was that she was, I don't know, obviously I assume there must be some type of a LoJack or tracking system or something on there. What's going on, lover? So I think there was probably some type of a LoJack or something on his suit, and so they're able to find out where he is. Obviously, they've got Thor survived, and he's got this ability to travel magically. And Rocket knows pretty much the entire universe, so does Thor. So it shouldn't be that difficult to find them. And I've seen the Instagram suit pictures that Gwen Paltrow leaked or showed off of the rescue armor. And I've seen the drawings of like everybody in a rescue armor, including the Hulk in a rescue style armor or something to that effect, or maybe an Avenger suit. So I think they're going to go rescue him. Now, I've seen some photos from the behind the scenes, and they're wearing this something on their wrists, and they're in New York from the Avengers, the first battle for New York that they reference in every Marvel Cinematic Universe movie or a television show. There's always some reference to the Battle of New York. So I've noticed that Tony is there, and so is Bruce Banner is there, and I believe Ant-Man was there, and the old Captain America from Avengers. So I think probably what happens is this. We know time disruption. So whenever they, like Doctor Strange, when he sat there and did his little, head thing where he's like jerking all over the place and looking at whatever it was, 7,365,413. Maybe Marvel's going to kill Tony in space. No, he's going to make it back home. I don't think he's going to be killed in space. I think he's going to be rescued and brought back because they got footage of him on Earth with this little thing on his back, which resembles what Cable wears in Deadpool 2. So, I think they're time traveling, and I think they travel back to the time of Marvel Avengers. And I think they stop any of that from happening, which means essentially everybody lives back to 2006 7 years ago or whenever it was that the Marvel Avengers movie came out. So it's like Kevin Feige said, everyone that died in Infinity War is dead. He literally said they are dead. So I think what's going to happen is currently the Marvel Cinematic Universe is called Earth dash 19999. I think it's five nines, 199999. And Deadpool is an Earth TRN 414, I believe. And the core Marvel Comics universe is Earth 616. So there's all different versions of Earths, and we really see a good taste of them in Deadpool Core, where we see all the versions of Deadpool. So I think what's going to happen is, and I don't know whether this is cheesy to do this or clever to do this, but I think they're going to just reboot. I think Black Widow's gold hair is fake on the trailer of Endgame. I think her hair's red hairs. I think that Scarlett Johansson has blonde hair in real life, doesn't she? Or kind of a brownish, light brownish hair. So all those times they were dyeing her hair red. So I don't remember what movie was it where they showed her as a kid in the training. Wasn't that Age of Ultron, where she would talked about what she did as a kid? What color hair did she have then? I don't remember. Was it red, blonde, black? My wife changes her hair color all the time. Sometimes it's red, sometimes it's brown, sometimes it's black, sometimes it's purple. So I never know. I never know sometimes what color hair people really have. I miss Stanley. I do too, man. You know, um what a guy. You know, he turned stream interrupted. So I don't know what the hell that was about. Let's turn this back around. Sorry about that, folks. I don't know what in the world happened there. The stream is interrupted. Hopefully, you're still with me here. Yeah, I don't know whether Stan had kids or not. I know he was married. I'm sure you guys know. But yeah, I think maybe I think Cap will go back to the 1940s in Endgame and live out life. Oh, ooh, I hadn't thought about that. Oh, Rick, I think you're on to something because he's always been a man out of time, hasn't he? Really interesting. So, you know when he would have to go back? He would have to go back in time to after the crash. You know what I mean? That way, everything can continue on. Be at the end of the war and he can live a good life. That'd be cool. But he'd still be Captain America. Interesting thought. He does seem to be a little angry about being Captain America. Think he'd live an incognito life? Hadn't thought about that. Get that sweet dance. Yeah. He'd been needing that dance, hadn't he? Now, what a sad story that was, wasn't it? So I think that's going to happen is I did find it interesting that what is on the back of their hands is the same type of device that Cable wears in Deadpool. And with the acquisition of Fox, maybe we'll see Deadpool. I bet nobody thought about that. It would be amazing, trippy, interesting. I hate to see the end of the franchise. I really hope it truthfully isn't the end of the franchise. You know, obviously Captain Marvel's beginning, but I really like Tony Stark. You know what I'd really like to see? I'd really like to see a story of all these guys. I'd like to see a story of all of these suits. Something. Even if it's just an animated story. Just give me a story with all of them. You know what I mean? They had such an unlimited resource available to them that they just let slipped right through the cracks. Let's see. Cap wearing Captain America Winter Soldier suit on trailer. Is he? I didn't see that. Where was Rhodes in the trailer? I don't know. Interesting question too. Do the Charleston. They have shown the Fantastic Four sign on the Avengers Tower at the end. Did they? Is there a new trailer that I've missed? You guys are ripping me up, man. You guys are ripping me up. I didn't know there was a new trailer. I don't remember seeing all that. Jeez, I must be out of the loop. They show the Avengers. They show the Fantastic Four, huh? Because you know what? The Fantastic Four is an amazing group too, and they've just not had a good movie. I mean, they're okay. They just weren't really good movies. It's funny that there's the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and then there's like the X-Men universe and the Fantastic Four universe, and only the Marvel Cinematic Universe has had that magic about it. The Fantastic Four universe has had false movies that didn't make it. Spider-Man hit or miss, X-Men hit or miss. Man, Marvel Cinematic Universe pretty much nailed every single one of them. My favorite suit is Civil War suit for Cap. I like that one too. They haven't shown the sign. I meant that the movie should have it. Ah, interesting. No, I love my Civil War Cap too. Got him up here, um, fighting against Tony, as he should be. You know, it's traditional. It's what we expect of late to be the case with Captain America. You know what I mean? I kind of have an affection of Captain America the way Phil Coulson does. I'd collect his cards. I'd have all of his cards. You know, it was so funny when Phil got to meet Steve Rogers, and Steve was kind of caught off guard. He didn't expect to have somebody look at him as a fan. What a neat thing. That's pretty interesting story, wasn't it? They haven't shown the sign. I'm into tonight. I think Endgame Trader has 70s fake trader. You thought it was a fake trader, but now they're, in my opinion, they're traveling through time, and they're going back to Marvel Avengers, and they're going to change everything to keep this Chitauri problem from becoming the Thanos problem, I guess. Oh, and also I think they're going to recreate the Infinity Stones, and they're going to make a lot of little things because I think something's going down. They're going to recreate the Infinity Stones, and they're going to undo his snap. I do find it interesting when Thor drove his Stormbreaker right into Thanos' chest, and Thanos looked at him and said, "You should have gone for the head." Remember in Iron Man 2 when Whiplash first met Tony on the racetrack, and Tony very arrogantly said something to the effect about how he should have done his power on his suit or something to that effect. And then, later in the movie, when Whiplash reappears, he tells him, he goes, "You're right, increasing the megawatts," or whatever it was. I don't remember what it was. And that turned around and bit Tony in the ass because he made Whiplash all the more powerful. And I think that's going to be Thanos' downfall. I think we're going to see Stormbreaker take his head clean off. And I don't want to be so morbid or disgusting in that regards, but it's interesting that he would say, "You should have gone for the head" to Thor. I think Thor is going to kill him. There was always a comic Tony had in the comics, a suit pretty much for everybody. Remember in Thor Ragnarok, where Thor kept saying his password was the most powerful Avenger? Because Thor is a very powerful Avenger, or strongest Avenger, and actually it was Hulk. I think it's going to be Thor that's going to kill Thanos. That's who I think it's going to be. I think we got a tease on that in Infinity War. Wonder if we'll get 20 different Iron Man. Yes, I think we will. Yep, you should have gone for the head or the balls. I think we will. I hope we do. I definitely want the Pepper Pots. The picture shows them all kind of wearing like a similar suit. I think everybody's going to get a suit. I think they all are, and I would like that. I would really like for them to make every single main character that they haven't made. Like somebody was asking earlier, how come they haven't made a Venom? I don't know. I ordered the Poison by Bullethead. Looks really good. I can't wait for that to come in. But I don't know why they don't make certain figures. Nebula. I would love a Nebula. Would love a Nebula. Happy Hogan. Come on. What the hell? He's been there from day one, and we don't have a Happy. That's that's beyond any thought of mine. Why we don't get those guys? You should have gone for that. That's right. Are you remember at Age of Ultron? Tony says we will lose. Cap says together. I think Avengers 4 is going to fight everyone together. They are making a Happy. I've seen a third party Happy that I didn't much care for. It didn't look really much like Happy. It looked really cheesy, actually. It looks, a matter of fact, in my opinion, I passed on it because I didn't think it looked well enough. And I will say that that's a bad sign if a third party is making one because can you think of any third party that has gone mainstream? I can't. I can't think of any third party figure that has become a Hot Toys figure. So if somebody's making Happy, I have a feeling that there will not be a Hot Toys Happy. Oh, I ordered the Crossbones third party. That looks good. So again, back to the story of probably not ever going to be a Hot Toys. Of course, I've got the little helmet type thing from what did that come with? One of my Captain Americas, I think, or maybe yeah. So that's never a good sign either. If they're including just the helmet, like the Vulture. Probably not going to get the figure. Vulture would be awesome. Probably not going to get it. But yeah, there's a third party Crossbones that looks really good. The helmet doesn't look dead on, but I think hopefully I'll be able to use the helmet from that came with one of my other figures as the helmet for that. But the armor and the body looks pretty good. I think Tony will punch Cap in the face in Endgame because he still seems mad at him. That is interesting. There is a little bit of resentment there, isn't there? Because remember, like when Bruce came back, because Bruce hadn't seen them since Age of Ultron, and he's like, why don't you just call Captain up?" And he's like, "Yeah, we're not on talking terms right now." They never really settled that, did they? Because he went off, and Cap was in Wakanda, so they just really still didn't even communicate with each other, did they? Interesting. I will be a big old punch in the face. Continuation of the story. Hmm. Interesting. Wait a minute. Isn't Captain America dead? You guys are confusing me. Is he dead? Did he die in end of Infinity War? You're gonna custom a Crossbones. That'd be cool. Happy Hogan should come with a food truck backdrop. What? The double movie of I've never seen that movie. Call it Happy's Hoagies. Let's see. I heard Happy might hook up with Aunt May. Interesting. Come on now. You know, Tony's the one who was hitting on Aunt May, even though he's, I guess, married now to Pepper. Happy and Aunt May. That would be a what the fuck moment, wouldn't it? So I think they're going to redo because especially you know what Brie Larson was in Marvel Avengers. Some of you know that she was a waitress and she was interviewed by the news. I think there's actually 3 scenes with her in it, and they'd said back then they literally told us that that was Captain Marvel all the way back in 2000 and whatever it was 11 or 12 that Marvel Avengers came out. They literally told us back then that that was Captain Marvel. And it was one of those things that kind of went in one ear and right out the other because it was like, uh huh, sure it was. Because you're thinking to yourself, if that was Captain Marvel, how come nothing came of it? But as we learned from the Iron Man 2 movie where they retroed the story, which made the little kid wearing the Iron Man mask, Peter Parker, where nobody said anything about that before, but they have made that official that that really is was him, even though nobody said jack about that being the case at the time. It is interesting that they're going back to that story in Marvel Endgames of Marvel Avengers, and Brie Larson was there, and they said that was Captain Marvel. So that's going to be a whole nother thing. Plus, we got the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Wasn't that Adam Warlock that they were making? Wasn't he also a Guardian of the Galaxy? Let's see. I want an Avengers 4 Hot Toys Hulk. I don't have one in my collection yet. Man, you can't go wrong with Hulk. They have bootleg Hulks. They do. I own two of them. That one piece suit for Hulk concept art for Avengers 4 made me get the Gladiator Hulk instead. I love the Gladiator Hulk. Groot, come back. Yeah, I want real Groot. I'm tired of Teen Groot. I want Groot. I want old Groot. I want big Groot. Yeah, I've got a couple of the bootleg Hulks. There's one of them up there in the corner. You probably won't be able to see them. It's so dark. And one's taller than and one's shorter than the Hot Toys figures. And I kind of dig that because in the first Hulk movie with Eric Bana, I think was who the actor was, you kind of get the impression that Hulk can be various sizes depending on how much he's raging. So that's why I have these other two Hulks because one's like 2 inches taller, another one's like 1 inch shorter than Hulk. So my taller one is up here on my Avengers shelf behind Bruce. And then I have my Hulks down here, my Gladiator Hulk and my Hot Toys Hulk down here. Not sure how to do them yet. We're working on some things. And then I got the shorter Hulk on my Age of Ultron battle over there in the office. Uh, Steve, then my band Buck Dust. Love you, Black Panther. Oh man, I am buying every Black Panther that they make, the whole thing. In game, do Bucky justice. Yeah, and do Black Panther justice too. Why did they kill him? Wish I had a head sculpt of which head sculpt, Robert? Are you getting Shuri? I sure am. I sure do have Shuri and the throne on order. Um, the One of the things I thought was interesting was it didn't really talk much about in the Black Panther. They didn't talk about it at all in the Black Panther movies, actually. If you notice, you really see them specifically when Killmonger becomes the king of Wakanda. There's so I don't remember their names, but the guards that they have that Black Panther uses there, he has this elite team that hang out with him. When Killmonger becomes guard, he has these becomes king. He has these guards that are wearing purple, and they didn't make any reference to that. And there's only these really short, quick quips of them. So the people that Shuri and all that were defeating, if you notice, their suits were purple. Those were the king's special guards. I think the Romans called them Praetorians back in the days, and that's would be the ones that protected the king. And they didn't make any reference to that, and I caught that as I was watching. I was like, oh look, they got Praetorian guards, and so that'd be another one of those things that you'll never see a figure of, and was just so quick and in and out of the story that they didn't even make any reference to it. But yeah, I want to get all the characters from Black Panther too, and I don't even know all the names of them. Forgive me, I'm sorry, I don't. But I want to have that collection. I love the Black Panther story and King T'Chaka here. Um, yes, most definitely. I was really impressed with Black Panther. Does your Black Panther have the head sculpt? I bought that head sculpt That's a third party head sculpt, and it looks amazing. Black Panther and Lion King, same movie. That could be something to look into. Imagine at the end credit of Avengers 4, they show two shadows dancing at the end credit. One is Cap. Aw. Aw, that would make me cry. Bucky. Bucky and Cap dancing. Arm in arm, kissing and hugging. I have the Black Panther head sculpts, third party, and I love it because for whatever insane reason, when they first released this figure, it didn't come with the head sculpt. I think the new one does, doesn't it? They have the civilians' clothing or the regular clothing, Black Panther coming out too. But no, this head sculpt is dead on, dude. I would I would not be surprised whatsoever. Why is there no light in here? I would whatsoever if this was truthfully crafted by Hot Toys artists. See if we can get a focus in on that. Look at that. Dude, that's dead on. That is dead freaking on. And I don't remember who made this. I buy stuff from so many different resources, and I love it. But no, this did not come from Hot Toys, and it fits perfectly on there, and I love it. Love it. And versus Panther, interesting. Avengers 4, I would love a Captain America in an army suit. That'd be cool because they made that, you know. Okay, name comic book locations: Gotham City, Central City, Metropolis, Wakanda. So you mean like places that don't exist that are only in comic books? You know, that's always been a thing between DC and Marvel. A lot of times Marvel really uses real places. Wakanda is definitely not a real place, whereas DC originally never used a real place. And I think it was because, you know, DC is a much older comic. I mean, DC's been around since the 30s. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I think probably they had a problem with maybe saying New York City or Chicago, which I've always been under the impression that Gotham was New York and Metropolis was Chicago. That's kind of what I always got the feeling of. Whereas Marvel was, I mean, they had no problem naming Spider-Man lives in New York. You know, Tony lives, I don't know where Tony lives. Did Tony live in Malibu all along? Hmm, good question. But they had characters that lived in San Francisco. They had characters that lived in New York. There was no question about where these characters were from, and they would just come right out with them. Where Green Arrow live? I can do this all. All right, I can do this all day. Doom's Country, good one. Mosha, where's that? I'm with you. So, um, I think Tony's gonna die at the end of Avengers Endgame, by the way. I think he's through. I think Robert Downey Jr. has had a good run. For 10 years, he's played Tony Stark. I think he's through with it. Um, a lot of times, actors will complain about being typecast, and he's probably at that point where he's pretty much typecasted as Iron Man. He's done a couple of movies in the middle of Iron Man, like Sherlock Holmes, which he loved doing. But I think he's through with, which kind of sucks because I love the whole thing. I think he's through. So my question to you guys is, who's going to carry the mantle? Who do you think is going to continue on with that? Obviously, they're continue on the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And if you remember in the comics, he had kind of a predecessor at one point. What do you guys think? I'm wondering if it's going to be Shuri. I talked about that when I was talking about the Shuri figure that has been put up for pre-order. I think that's going to be Iron Man. Come on, she's intelligent. She's innovative. She has the ability to create. She's got the money. Will be an Iron Man for a while. That's right. This is no place. This is no place to die. Yeah, you don't want that character for Iron Man. Anybody with that character, huh? Well, I guess I never got around to Thor, so that will be that. Brad Pitt Cap. So you think everybody's out? You think there should be like a new Captain America all together with like new movies? It'd be interesting. I can't imagine them making a new Marvel Cinematic Universe in that regards. You know, I don't think this story could ever be retold again because of the broadness of it, the huge scope that it covered, every little thing that it was, every movie being tied in. You know, because every now and again they head sculpt of close up head sculpt of what? Because every movie or series seems to get redone later, 10, 20, 30 years down the road. They're redoing it again. I can't imagine doing that again, this again. Which head sculpt did you want to see, Robert? The Black Panther head sculpt again? Definitely. I said, in my opinion, this is dead on. See if this focus for us properly. Look at that. Color's a little off because lights that we have here, so he doesn't have a green tint to him. And this camera's distorting his shape a little bit. But I'm telling you, dude, in person, that's him. That's Chadwick Boseman. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's gorgeous. And I don't remember who made this. I bought it from a third party. I may have bought it from 1/6 Kit, Kit Chen on Facebook. I don't remember. But this is, I mean, this is perfect. And it'll be interesting to see the Black Panther movie version coming out, which comes with the head sculpt, to compare the two. You know what I mean? It'd be interesting to see how that turns out. A Nova movie. That'd be cool. What comp? Will probably bid farewell. Yeah, not die, just pass the torch to the new team, not Groot. Company. 7-Eleven, sweet. No problems. Connecting head. No. Nope. Right on there. So it's on there perfectly. I don't remember who makes this, and it's old. I mean, this came out when this figure was introduced 2 years ago, so I don't know if you can find it. But if you do find it, this is it, and I highly recommend it. But you know, we are getting a head sculpt with the um, the new Black Panther suit that's coming out, so maybe just hold off on that. But yeah, I pose him definitely with his um, I pose him definitely with his head off, helmet off, in his arms, head sculpt on. I don't know I don't know who it was. Like I said, I think I got it from Kit Chen. Yeah, some heads don't fit properly. and feet also. And I what was it? I bought some head and I couldn't get it on, and I'm like, I wrote back to the person I bought it from. I'm like, how am I supposed to put this on? And they sent me these little bitty inside things. I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this? A lot of things I don't quite understand how it's supposed to work. It's like the feet. Sometimes feet don't go together, and I don't know where I can get connections for them. And sometimes I'm really lost in that regards. And I wish there was like a standard where they all fit, no matter. Like Fison heads and Hot Toys heads and third party heads. I wish they'd all were interchangeable and would fit perfectly. God, that'd be great. What's your thoughts? Canceled Daredevil. My thoughts on that are, what in the world were they thinking canceling those shows? Are you absolutely kidding me? It makes me wonder about possibly political incentive or motivation in regards to that. They got new people in charge of Netflix, and next thing you know, the cool shows like that are getting canceled. And I don't know what in the world. I can't believe it wasn't because they weren't making money. Can't believe it wasn't because they couldn't sell the show. There were some of the Marvel television shows that weren't necessarily good. But come on, Daredevil and Punisher. So, any other thoughts on things? You guys about ready to call it a day? I'll talk all day, man. I have a hard time shutting up sometimes. I go on and on and on. Who's that? What's that guy's name? Either the actor or the character from Ant Man who tells him his stories. Like, I was at a museum the other day and had this really cool Monet, and I really enjoyed Monet because it kind of looks like that. And he tells this entire story. Who's that? What's the actor's name, or what's the character's name in that Ant Man movie? Never watch any new stuff, Marvel or DC. Really? Although Swamp Thing looks good. Disney was probably charging too much. Yeah, right. Lewis, Michael Pena. Yeah, what a character. It's true, sir, bro. What a character. Paul Rudd is a funny actor. I like his movie, I Love You, Man. And I thought it was a great pairing to make him into Ant Man. I really enjoyed that we got Scott Lang and Hank Pym in the Ant Man stories. Really good job of doing that. It's not true. Man, I love that character. I could watch him all day long talk about his stupid little stories. We got a spider. We got a what was they use? What kind of superhero are you looking for? We got a thing that flies. We got a thing that swings. What was all that she said? Love that, Michael Pena. I think he brought a lot to that. And there again, you have to wonder, where does the acting end and where does the reality begin? Because I think that's probably pretty close to his skit too, isn't it? It's like, I don't know if you guys ever watched Seinfeld. Um, uh, the character Kramer, played by Michael, what was his name? Anyhow, a lot of that character he brought to the show. That wasn't scripted for him to act as crazy as he did. That was him really bringing his own personal touch to the show, actually. Movie fight. The Flash from the movie Justice League that was tripping all over versus Doctor Strange before he gets magic text while driving version. That'd be funny. Speaking of, who do you think is the most powerful Marvel Cinematic Universe character? My opinion, Scarlet Witch. I truthfully think she could whip anybody's ass. I think she could whip Hulk. Hell, she already brainwashed him. I think she could whip anybody's butt. Not only that, I think she could like destroy the universe. I think her powers are beyond. I think she's probably more powerful than Doctor Strange. Opinions? Thoughts? I love the Hulk too. No, I've not read Batman Who Laughs. I've not heard of it. Uh-uh. I did see some of those versus YouTube videos where they put up different characters, and I thought Batman versus Darth Vader was pretty funny. It's pretty cool. Batman the super genius. What do you get when you take away the suit? Iron Man. I don't know. Philanthropist, playboy, genius, billionaire. Okay, Hulk versus Solomon Grundy. I don't know who Solomon Grundy is. But in the comics, there was a very interesting Spider-Man comic out back, God, decades ago, where he ended up getting the powers of gosh dang it, I can't remember who's I think it was, gosh dang it, I can't remember now. Anyhow, he got this the powers of this. There's a superhero that these aliens more or less pass the powers on to different people, and Spider-Man was endowed with those. Help me out. Who am I talking about? And so Spider-Man got to be this guy. God, what is his name? And so anyhow, it was so funny. It was a very interesting comic book because in this storyline, it was the first time that Hulk had met Spider-Man. So it was in the infancy of comics in a sense, but it really wasn't because I think it was the 80s or the 90s. So something was going on. Doc Ock was blowing up something, or Vulture was setting off some nuclear bomb, or something was going on in New York City that Spider-Man was on his way to stop this from happening. And the as he was on his way there, at the same time, the crime syndicate, which I think was run by Kingpin, had pretty much hired Hulk, because this is back when Hulk was kind of like Smart Hulk, so he kind of knew what was going on. They hired Hulk to kill Spider-Man or hurt him or something. I don't remember what the whole story was. And so Hulk's like, okay, yeah, I'll do this. So he shows up there to fight um, Spider-Man to kill him or whatever. And of course, they would have killed him. So it must have been put him out of commission. So as Spider-Man's on his way to stop this nuclear bomb from going on, and he's got these powers, ultimate powers, forgetting which one it was, and he bumps into all these different characters that come out of nowhere to try to defeat him. And normally these characters would have totally kicked his ass because Spider-Man is just Spider-Man. He's powerful, but he's not like Superman powerful. Well, at this point, he was Superman powerful. And one of the ones he came across was Hulk. And literally all Spider-Man did was just uppercut him. Literally launched Hulk into orbit around the Earth. He's in outer space, holding his breath. So Spider-Man goes on, bumps into a couple other, I think Gravitron, a couple other characters he bumps into, and goes and stops this nuclear bomb from happening. And then as he's standing there, he's reflecting what happened. We see Hulk again, who's floating around in space, and Bruce Banner or Hulk is, he's talking to himself, and he goes, "Well, I knew the end was going to come sooner or later. I didn't really expect it to happen like this. I think I can hold my breath for another X amount of seconds, but in a few moments, the sun's going to cusp over the horizon there, and I'm probably going to die from the radiation on that before I lose my breath." And all of a sudden, Spider-Man flies up there and saves him, brings Hulk back down, and Hulk's like, "Dude, I got no problem with you." So it was funny to watch Spider-Man kick Hulk's ass because normally Hulk wouldn't be able to beat Spider-Man's butt. There was another comic that many years ago where Spider-Man was in the subways and fighting probably the Lizard because that's normally where he ended up with whenever he was fighting him. And something happened where all the subway lines like crashed in on him, and he's like buried by 6 or 7 subway cars or something to that effect. And Spider-Man was pinned, very much like what we've seen in the Spider-Man movie with the air conditioners laying on him of several tons. And literally at this point, because these subway cars are several tons, probably 40 tons apiece, I don't even know. Spider-Man's being crushed to death. He gets his adrenaline surge, the same adrenaline surge that we're told causes Hulk to Hulk out, being angry. That thing that we all get whenever we're really worked up. And when this was evidently the first time that Peter Parker as Spider-Man had that adrenaline surge, and he lifted all the subway cars up. And at the bottom of the page with his little editor's note and said, by the way, for those of you that are counting right now, yeah, at this moment, Spider-Man's stronger than Hulk. I always like those little things. Little things to think about when you talk about verses. Yeah, he sure did. Punched him right in outer space. What comic was Spidey punching Hulk? It was there's a which comic book character is it that is really kind of like passed around? His powers are passed around. Captain not Captain I can't think what it is. Captain Marvel keeps coming to my head, but it's not Captain Marvel. I don't remember. But he was bestowed with those powers only for this one comic. The entire comic, he had the powers of the all the powers of the universe. He could fly. He could shoot laser blasts. His suit changed to what this. Whenever somebody is bestowed with this power, their suit changes too. So he had the power. That was his power. And he punched, literally launched Hulk clean into outer space. So well, guys, it was good talking to you. Looks like we burned another hour, and just about. And I will see you all next week. And thank you very much. And I haven't heard anything. Kind of like Hot Toys slammed us with all their figures right before Christmas to empty our wallets and to get the toys out there for us that we all wanted. And you know what I love? The way all superheroes truly love Batman. I love Batman. I mean, Wonder Woman made Batman smile, humming "Am I Blue?" and your cartoon. Flash made Bats cry, giving father's letter in alternate reality. You know what I liked was when see what was it you I was just reading it was brought to my attention when we were talking earlier about um, Bruce Campbell's character in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. When Bruce Campbell was talking about that, he goes, "Think about it. I'm the only person who's defeated Spider-Man." He said he named Spider-Man. He said he defeated Spider-Man, and I think the other ones he said he thwarted Spider-Man. So he named him when he was the ring announcer, and he defeated him when he kept him from getting in to see Pepper Potts do her performance, and then he thwarted his plans with the ring when he was going to propose to. Why did I say Pepper Potts? Mary Jane. Mary Jane. He thwarted him when Peter was going to propose to Mary Jane, and that's when we were supposed to see Mysterio, and Superman made him forget. Merry Christmas, man. Speaking of Superman making him forget, Superman has that kiss he always gives to Lois Lane to make her forget that her memory. But it's funny. One of my favorite Supermans of all the different generations of Superman that we had was when Kane, what's his name, Dick Kane, played Superman in the television series. It was called Lois and Clark. It was a really good one. Terry Hatcher played Lois Lane, and it was really good. In my opinion, it was a really good Superman story. But it was really funny one was when one of the bad guys came back from the future to kill Superman in the past to keep him from doing something in the future. And I don't remember who it was. But what was funny was he decided to capture Lois Lane to, of course, get Superman's attention because that was always you capture Lois Lane, you got Superman's attention. And I don't care. That'll do it every single time. So he captures Lois Lane, and he's sitting here telling Lois of his plans, and she's like, "Yeah, but I don't understand this and that, whatever else." And the guy looks at her and says, "Oh my God, you don't know yet, do you?" He goes, "This is great." He goes, "I didn't expect this. I didn't plan on this being part of the plan. Not only do I get to kill Superman, but I get to ruin your belief of who he is." He goes, "Let me ask you, are you intergalactically stupid?" She's like, "What are you talking about?" So he picks up his glasses and he puts his glasses on. He goes, "I'm Clark Kent." Takes them off. "I'm Superman." "I'm Clark Kent." "I'm Superman." "Hello? How did you not know that?" And I thought that was Absolutely hilarious. So later on in the movie or the television show, because it was a series, television series, Lois says to Superman, when obviously she revealed that she knew who he was, she says, "What'd you think I was? Intergalactically stupid?" Oh, it was a great scene. I love that. Did you see the cartoon Chicken on New Superman Origin? No, I did not. You and your mom? No, I did not. I did not see that. Um, love that. A lot to take in. Shock. Look up Soup's face. I will. I will do that. All right, guys. Merry Christmas, man. Thanks for hanging out with me. Good talking to you. Love every one of you. And thanks for subscribing. And hey, help promote my channel. Because one of the problems that I experience is doggone YouTube likes to demonetize my videos for no reason whatsoever, for nothing I've ever even done. And there's nothing wrong with my videos that I've ever seen. And I can contest that and tell them to do a manual review. And they say, if you have less than 10,000 subscribers, you don't get a manual review. So I just have demonetized videos. And that really kind of torques you off. So anyhow, peace out, guys. Thank you very much for watching me and subscribing to me, and I'll see y'all later. Merry Christmas.